Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm going to go over some troubleshooting for starting issues on a tractor today. There's two things that every tractor requires in order to run, whether it's a Ford 8N or any other model of tractor. The first is gas and the second is spark. Now, you might roll your eyes at me and be like, really, Rachel? Gas? My tractor has gas in it. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people bring their tractor to us to have us work on it, and the only reason that it wouldn't start is because it didn't have enough gas in it. Now, when you turn the key onto this tractor and you crank, it will just it will roll over but won't ignite like this. So you can do that for a long time and the tractor will never actually start. It will just roll over and try to start. Now, you can look inside the gas tank of this tractor and see that there is indeed gas inside of there, but there might not be enough for the tractor to actually start. Now, the tractor has a sediment bowl on it like this one, and you can see that this is where it would screw into the gas tank, and there might be threads on top of it, maybe 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch or however far it is on your tank, and the gas has to be enough to cover that and so that it can flow into the systems of the tractor so that your tractor can actually start. So even though it might have some gas in it, it might need more than that in order for your tractor to start. Your sediment bowl is designed that way so that when there's rust in the bottom of your tank, the rust doesn't come into all the systems of your tractor. So with that in mind, we need to make sure our tractor does indeed have enough gas in it. So I'm going to add some gas to this tractor. Now that I've added gas, let's see if this tractor will start up and we have our problem solved. Here we go. There we go. Nice. Problem solved. That was an easy fix, making sure that we have enough fuel in the tractor. Now we're going to determine if the tractor has spark or not. Now, before you go directly to your distributor and take it apart and analyze the points, there's some really quick tricks that you can do to quickly analyze and determine exactly where your problem lies. This is a simple 12-volt testing tool, but it also works if your tractor is 6-volt. You can go either way, the light's just not as bright, but it will still work for you. So you attach the other end of your tool to the ground connection of your battery, and then you touch your other end and you want to test it and make sure that your tester is actually working. So you can just touch it to the opposite end of the post, and you'll see here that there we go, that the light does come on my tool. This way we know that the tool is actually working. Now, if your tractor won't start, an excellent place to start with your troubleshooting is to determine if the points in your distributor are opening and closing properly. Now, this is a side distributor tractor, so we would use this tool and test it right here. If you're working on a 9N or a 2N or an 8N that has a front distributor, you would just use your tool right here. That's where you would test to see if your points are working properly. I'm going to set this down and then I'll show you how to test it on this tractor. I'm going to turn the key on, then I'm going to press the starter button, and hopefully the light on the tool will flash. If you, with your key on, test your tool here and the light does not come on your tool, then check either your resistor or your key switch. There might be an issue there. Or if you touch your tool here and your light remains solid when you press the starter button, then that would mean that your points are not opening and closing properly and you'd want to proceed further and repair your parts or your points. So let's go ahead and press the starter button and see what happens on this tractor. I'm going to turn my key on. Of course, make sure the tractor is in neutral. And then see, I have a solid light, so I know that I have power to my distributor. Now I'm going to press the starter button. You can see the light flash there. That means that my points are opening and closing properly, which is good. So now let's move on to the next step and see why the tractor won't start. Next thing we want to analyze when your tractor won't start is the spark plugs. This is a spark analyzer. There are lots of different styles for this tool, and it doesn't really matter what kind you purchase or what kind you use. They all basically do the same thing. So this one hooks up in this fashion. I'm picking any spark plug wire or spark plug to use here to test. And then I'm going to turn the key on, press the starter button, and analyze if there is a light here or if there is not. So let's go ahead and do that and we'll talk about it. Okay, Okay, you can see there that it's cranking over and there's no light. So that shows me that there isn't spark to the spark plug here. So the last thing that we tested was the distributor. And again, I'll show you here. Let's retest the distributor. I'm going to turn the key on. You can see that I have a light. And also I'll press the starter button again. You'll see that it flashes, so we know the points are opening and closing. Now in between there, let me turn the key off here so it doesn't wear down. Now in between where the points are and where the spark plugs, there's wires and there's also a rotor. So let's go ahead and test and see if there's an issue here. I'm going to show you this repair on the distributor that's out of the tractor just so that you can really easily see what's going on. So here's where the points are. Let me take the cap off here. This is the points, and we know that the points on this tractor are working properly. This is the rotor, which snaps on here. Lots of times this tip here will be worn off, or this part will be bent down. You can just take your finger and move it up if it's in good condition, or you can replace the rotor altogether if it's either broken off here or worn here. Either way, this is an easy part to replace, and it's really essential in your tractor. Now also you're going to have a cap like this one, and you can see on the inside of here there's this carbon button. Lots of times this will break off, and again, this is really essential. So you can just feel or see and make sure that carbon button is there. If it's not, then go ahead and replace your cap. When your tractor won't start, you also want to test your coil to make sure that that is not the problem or where the issue lies. If it is indeed where your issue lies, you can buy a replacement coil. So this is the same spark analyzer tester that I use on my spark plugs that I'm now going to use to test the coil. So this coil wire is in the center of your distributor cap, and it goes back to your coil. And I'm going to put this in here. It's kind of a tight fit, but it will go. There we go. Now it just kind of sets in there. It doesn't snap like it does when you use it for other purposes. And then here's the opposite end of my tool that I'm connecting to the coil wire, and that will snap in there. Okay, so that's hooked up. Now you watch closely on the handle here to see the light come on or off when I go ahead and start the tractor. I'm just going to slip over there so that I can. Now there you can see the light. That means it's good, and we know that my coil is working properly. We've done a lot of troubleshooting within this system, so now we're going to go back to the spark plugs and make sure that we do indeed have spark there, and our tractor should start for us by this point. Okay, you could obviously the tractor started, which is good, that's what we want, but you could also see the light flashing in there showing that the spark plugs are good. Now other things to consider within your tractor is lots of times I do see tractors that have the wrong spark plugs in them. Whether somebody just goes to a random store and buys spark plugs but they're wrong, and it's best to just have the right spark plugs in it. When you purchase a tune-up kit, it'll probably come with spark plugs, so just go ahead and put them in, or just purchase the right spark plugs if you don't need a whole entire tune-up kit. Spark plugs are really inexpensive, and they make a lot of difference in the way that your tractor will run. Also, I want to discuss with you the wires. Sometimes if your tractor will start but there's a miss, the problem could be within the wire. Now you can purchase a whole set of new wires that are cut to length and ready to go onto your tractor like this one. And you can also test the wires that are on your tractor. I have an ohm meter here, and I have a wire off the tractor so I can show you how you would test it. You just press one end in here, and then it should beep on the other end. We know this wire is good. It's a simple test with the ohm meter that you can do to test your wires. Now my tractor is running, but there are still other things that could prevent your tractor from starting, which would lie within the switches, so let's go ahead and talk about those. I'd like to show you how to test to see if your keyed ignition switch is working properly or not. I have my 12-volt tester grounded, and then I'm going to just push it into one side of the key, which should always be on. You just get a good connection in there, and the light will come on for you so that you can see what's, there we go, okay, you can see the light come on. And then when you turn the key, the other side should turn on, which is good. You can see the lights on there. Now when I turn the key off, the light turns off. Turn the key on, the light comes on. That's good. That's how your switch should operate. If it doesn't operate properly like that, you can purchase a replacement part just like this. It's a simple system, easy to install. This resistor is in your tractor and it protects the coil, and lots of times it will provide an issue when your tractor starts. Lots of times they break off right in the middle there. So I'm going to test this one outside of the tractor so you can see with the ohm meter, but you just want to make sure it's transisting from one side to the other. So with one probe on each end, you see that it is working. You do not need to remove the resistor from your tractor because that would be a lot of work to test that. I just have it out here so that you can easily see. Additionally, if you don't have an ohm meter, you can use your 12-volt tester like I was using earlier to go on each end of the resistor. You can test here and test here to make sure that there's power. Sometimes the button, the starter button, will be the issue with your tractor. You can press the starter button and nothing will happen. So you would want to determine if the button is really the issue or if there's an issue with the solenoid or another issue in the tractor. So what you can do, this is a grounded starter button, so you can bypass the ground with a screwdriver. Now I'll show you how to do this, but make sure when you do this yourself that your tractor is in neutral and that the key is turned off. That's absolutely essential. If your tractor is in gear and you do this, your tractor will move, and that would be very dangerous. So please make sure your tractor is in neutral and the key is turned off. With that, I'm going to put my screwdriver here to the ground with this nut here, and then I'm going to touch the screw. And there you can see the tractor turned over. That will help you analyze if your starter button needs to be replaced or not. The starter button is fairly easy to replace if yours does need to be replaced. You'll need to remove this cover off of your tractor. Before doing that, for safety purposes, please remove the cable, the ground cable from your battery so you don't have any accidental problems, because there is ground power through the starter button, of course. Once your cover is off the tractor, there's a nut here that you'll need to remove, and in front of that is a locking washer, so you'll need to release those tabs so that your locking washer is free, and then it will come off. I do have my nut here loosened so that it will come off quickly for us. I'll take it the rest of the way here, and then you'll see that it's going to come out. So there's my bad starter button, and then I have these parts in my hand. There's the locking washer that I had referred to, which we'll use again, and this assembly here too. Now here's my new starter button. You can see that there is a flat spot on the bottom here. This flat spot will line up with the flat spot that's in the cover. It'll also line up with the flat spot on here, and there is a flat spot on your locking washer as well, so it all has to line up correctly. The gasket's there, so I'm ready to push this through. Got my flat spots lined up there. I'm going to put the locking washer on here. Let's check the direction. That'll set there. I dropped my nut, so just a minute, I'll pick it up. And I'll be ready to insert that through there. This is a little bit tricky. My locking washer just fell down. There we go. Okay, now I'll tighten this up. Once it's tightened, or at the point when you need to, be sure to put the tabs back on your locking washer to hold that in place there. And then once this is straight and you have that in there all the way, you're ready to put this back on the tractor. You'll need to put a new gasket here when you put that back on, and also there's one wire that hooks up here. After we've analyzed the starter button, we'll want to move down to the solenoid. Now here I have my 12-volt tester hooked up. It's grounded here, and you can see the light comes on here, there. That's the battery, so we know we've got a good connection. And then we're going to move on down here. I'm going to turn the key on and press the starter button, and we should have a light on our tool here. We do. You can see it there. That's good. That means that my solenoid is working. Now, that's one way that you can test a solenoid, but there's also another way you can test it if your solenoid's off the tractor, which I'll show you down here. This is a brand new solenoid, and when they come brand new, they're marked here. You can see battery. So, I'll hook up my battery, and then I'll ground it over here. Get a good connection there. Then I'll just use my testing alligator clips here. I'll put one end on there. Then I'm going to turn my battery source on here and just test it. There you can see it's sparking, it's clicking. That means it's connecting and that this solenoid is good. Now if you analyze and your solenoid is good and you've gone through all the other troubleshooting options, it could mean that your starter is bad, and in that case you would want to replace it or repair it. We've gone through a lot of troubleshooting steps through this tractor. I hope that through that you were able to identify where the problem lies with your tractor. These were all simple steps that you can do in your own shop with tools that you probably already have. I'll show you that my tractor will start up very easily and run strong for us. There we go. That started easily, just with one push on the button and it starts. Your tractor can start that way too.